Hey friends, John Reinhardt here, and welcome to the John Reinhardt Real Estate Channel. Today I'm going to be sharing with you the Brooklyn Real Estate Market Report. And in that report, we're going to be going over some important statistics about the Brooklyn market specifically, and then compare them to how other markets around the country and around the world have been changing and what they've been doing as this coronavirus pandemic has been hitting us all. So please stay tuned. The first and most important thing is that we have to stay safe and stay healthy. This has been a very devastating thing that has happened to our real estate market and to us as people and New Yorkers. It's hurt our families, it's hurt our friends, it's hurt our business. And we just have to be there for people and do whatever we can to make a difference in our world. So what I'm trying to do is make a difference in our world, in our real estate world, in our real estate community, to try to help people out on this journey and come up with ideas and strategies to move the ball forward as we are getting ready for the rebound. So the question that's been asked of many real estate industry leaders is, are you going to be around for the rebound? We think the rebound is going to be robust and great. Exciting. It may take a little bit of time to get there, but those of us that are not at home just saying, oh, I should just wait until this market changes, those of us that are doing something proactive will really make a difference. They'll come back stronger, they'll come back smarter, and they'll learn how to work remotely and do things differently than they've done before. So we see the world changing rapidly after this, and we hope that you join us on this journey to move the ball forward. The Brooklyn Market Report was created to help us to understand better what's happening in our marketplace and then comparing it with other markets around the country and around the world. So I've gathered some information from different industry leaders and looked at it and spoke with them on different occasions to see what their predictions are, how they see it shaping up in their marketplace, and then interpret that and see our best guess and best prediction and forecast on what we could do here in Brooklyn and what we see happening in the very near future. So it's a very interesting time indeed, and I'm going to share with you what I've learned from this journey. The first and most obvious thing is that we're on pause. As a real estate community, as real estate agents and brokers, we cannot show houses. We cannot have our offices open. We are definitely on pause. So, we are all staying in place. Our offices are closed and we can't show houses. So what can we do? There are some agents out there who said, you know what, I might as well just hang it up and relax and take it easy until the market changes. It's not the case. I'm going to show you why that doesn't make that much sense and why this is an amazing opportunity for us to really make a difference in our world and the world of the people around us. So, the good thing to know is we are not on stop, pause. So there are ways to do business. There are ways to do it virtually. There are online solutions now to situations that we've had in the past where we had to go into the office, where we had to go and do things at different attorneys' offices, and we don't need to do that anymore. So we're able to get the documents all signed online, and it's a great thing. We'll go into that in more detail. We're going to go into virtual tours. It's the only way today. So there are many ways to do virtual tours. Either hire somebody or with the right permissions, or ask your sellers to help with that. And I'll go into that in more detail also today. And then there will be, it's time for us right now to really communicate better with our sellers and our buyers. Learn the communication tools and skills. Maybe it's making a video like this for your sellers and buyers. Maybe it's a Zoom meeting with them to help them through the process, to tell them everything's going to be okay. I know I'll be suggesting different ways that we're using Zoom right now to make a difference in the lives of our buyers and sellers. So one of the things we need to do is we really need to communicate with everybody that we know, our sphere of influence. Again, our buyers, our sellers, our neighbors, our friends, our family. We just need to communicate, and we need to have answers. So, we can't just guess at what's happening in this real estate market. They're coming to us for advice. We've always been the trusted advisor in the community. We've always been the person that people go to ask about real estate. So when they ask us now, we say, well, I don't know. I'm not really sure. That's okay. But it's really nice to have some concrete answers based on statistics and based on what we're hearing to comfort them. That's what they need. They just need some comfort. They need some support, and they need some questions answered. That's what we're here for, and that's what we're going to accomplish today. So one of the ways that we can learn and keep on learning is by watching the John Reinhardt Real Estate channel. I will be featuring all the time, constantly, updates and different ways that people are doing it in our Brooklyn marketplace around the country and around the world. So I guess this is the real question, right? How you doing? How you doing? This is the number one question. I mean, when you speak to somebody, we have to communicate with all those people like I mentioned before. But when we do that, there really shouldn't be a business-oriented approach to it. It should be more of a, how you doing? How's it going? What is happening with this coronavirus in your life? Are you doing okay? Is your family okay? Are your friends okay? And listen, take a pause, see what's happening. Then you can always offer, once they ask the question, or you can say, hey, if you ever need any advice or any guidance, I'm here for you. And whatever it is, real estate or non-real estate. And that's what we do. Just reach out a hand and be a friend to everybody. And we're going to give you some pointers in this video that will help you get through that process with all your sellers and buyers. Give them the confidence that they need, or at least some answers. Sometimes the news is not good. It's just not, nothing you can do about it. But it is news, and it is something to at least know what you're up against so you can plan better instead of just guessing or wondering what's happening. And then at the end of the day, when you talk to your sellers and your buyers and your friends and your family and your neighbors, the main point is to say, hey, we're in this together. We're going to get through this, no doubt. We're going to get through this together. And that's it. I'm here for them. Anytime anybody has a question or a call, they want to call me, that's fine. That's the message of this whole thing here. So people have been asking me, what are you doing, John? Are you still listing homes? What are you doing? I am still listing. I just got a great listing. Are you still selling? Yes, we're putting deals in contract. Are you still closing? Yes, we are. Yes. We are doing all those things. But, as you see the big but, everything is done differently today. Everything's just done differently. You may not meet with your sellers or buyers in person. You just don't. You don't see them anymore. But we do see them virtually. I have video meetings, Zoom meetings, and lots of phone calls on a regular basis to keep everybody on the same page. But you're not allowed to go see your sellers or your buyers. You can't show properties. You can't do it. There's no face-to-face anymore. That's done for now. So as of today, New York is still not permitted to do this stuff, and it's a violation of the executive order. You will be either subject to fines or revocation of your license if this happens. So we're hoping that this changes. It's changed in parts of this country, other states that have already said that you can get out there and do it as long as you do it with proper precautions, with the gloves and the masks and the cleaning, sanitizing of the homes, the booties. There's a whole bunch of things that have to be done, but they do allow it in other states with certain rules and requirements that are met. And I think we're responsible enough to do that. So getting listings. Can you get listings? Sure. Sellers want to list and they have to list. Maybe they bought something and they have to sell. Maybe it's just that life changes, families change, they grow, they shrink, people move out, people move to college, people get a job, people are relocating with employment purposes because of COVID, where they need to be in a different location. So things are happening like that, and they need to sell. So we have to be there for them and help them along the process and put their homes on the market. So how do you list a home? Well, first the first question that's going to come up, is it a good time to sell? Is it a good time to list? And it depends. Honestly, it depends. I have a video on that whole process that will go into it. You could check that out further on the channel, and we'll talk about, is it a good time to list? Just as a synopsis of it all, yeah, it is a good time to list. If you have to sell, it's a great time to list. Some of the advantages of listing now are the fact that there are so few homes on the market. You'll see the numbers later. There's about 25% of the homes in inventory than were there a few months ago. So if your home is on the market, it stands out. I have a listing that I took a few weeks ago now. I have so many calls. I had 4 calls over the weekend to see this home. Of course, I have the virtual tour on it, which is something that we need to do. And, it looks like a great home online. And I'm doing a virtual open house on Sunday, so it's going to be real interesting to help them out with that. So you can get it all signed up virtually. All the documents are online. And the MLS just did a special Authentisign software they gave us free access to. And it's right there under the links in the MLS site. When you go onto Brooklyn MLS, you'll see there's links, and then you'll see this Authentisign. Learn about it. And if you want to, I'll be doing a video on that as well, on how to list a home with Authentisign and how to get other documents signed with Authentisign. It's free, and it's great that we have that now. Thanks to the MLS for doing that. We certainly appreciate it. And then the virtual tours. I mean, there are so many ways to get virtual tours. I'm doing a video on that also. There are so many topics that have to be covered that we're going to take them one chunk at a time. But this is a very interesting thing. There's a video about how to get a virtual tour. Sometimes you can get one if it's a vacant house. You can hire a photographer, a videographer, let them do it. But in some cases, if the seller's home, it's not allowed. So the seller has to either arrange that. You can't arrange that. You can't be there with the videographer. You have to have the seller do it separately. There are rules to this that we'll go over. But basically, that's one way to do it. The other way to do it is to have the seller download this app that we have that can allow this from Zillow, and it can allow them to go around the house and do it. If they're somewhat tech savvy, they don't have to be a brilliant technology person, just somewhat tech savvy, then go around with their cell phone and get a video tour of the home, which is the next best thing. It's better than nothing. And they can take some photos also. You can guide them with a Zoom call on how to take better pictures. So we'll go into the specifics of that also. Floor plans and all that stuff, all possible, all doable, all very helpful to getting your listings. When you want to show it, the only way to show a home now is virtually. There's just no way of you getting into a house and showing it. It's not happening. I mean, sometimes there's an asterisk over here, because sometimes what happens is if you have a listing that is a vacant home, you can sometimes go and show that by giving them a lockbox key, letting them in, but you can't be there. You have to just either get in your car, make sure nobody's in the house, prove that nobody's there, and either leave the door open for somebody, let them in, and then stay in your car and let them leave, and then clean up the house afterwards. So there are some ways to do this, but most cases it's not the case. So I've been showing lots of homes through my virtual tours. And, we market homes the same way that we used to do. So we do have ads. We can still put ads out there if you'd like to. The local papers are pushing those advertising. The signs, a lawn sign, people will call you on that. Online, on Zillow, on all those websites, Realtor.com, and every other site that you may be using, Street Easy in New York a lot. The consumer likes that. So they do that. They love the virtual tours, and then they will contact you, and you can escort them online through a tour. And we've been doing the escorted tours. I'm doing a video on that as well. The escorted tours is very interesting. It's a Zoom meeting that you set up with the client, and you go through the house together. You walk through the house, and then you show them different things. You point out different things that you would as if you were going on in live tours. You go through and say, oh, this is the kitchen. These are these cabinets. They're made of this type of wood, and it was done a couple of years ago. This is what you do when you do a virtual escorted tour. So we're going to show you how to do that. And then you may wonder also, is it a good time to buy? These buyers I don't know if I should buy. Well, the answer is it depends. Is your lease up? Do you have to get out? Did you sell your house? It's a good time to buy for so many people. There are fewer homes on the market. Nobody knows for sure. I'll tell you, be honest with you, nobody knows what's going to happen with the prices going forward. But I'll tell you what, in the last month in some markets that I've been speaking with some friends across the country, in Colorado and places like that, the home prices did not go down. They went up a little bit. Why? Because there's a shortage of homes, and for some reason the buyers are not they're not moving off the market right now. They still want to buy. So there are fewer homes, supply and demand. Prices are ticking up just a little bit, 1% or something. Nothing real exciting. But we'll see how that goes too. That could change down the road. But it could be a good time to buy. It just could be. Interest rates are great. They're real affordable. And agents just might want to take advantage of that right now. So let's see how that works out. So other than that, we have to consider virtual open houses too. So what's a virtual open house? I'm going to do my first one this Sunday. I'll let you know how that goes. A virtual open house is just like a Zoom agent guided tour. It'll be something where I'll put it up on Zillow and I'll put it on different links that I have on Facebook and everything and say, hey, just register for this open house and I'll be happy to tour you around while other guests are there. And we go around all at once and we ask any questions and then people could stay later and get more specific. I have the seller getting some more detailed shots. Like I have the virtual tour and it's beautiful, but I didn't get like a shot of the electric box, of the plumbing and the heating and the boiler. So I have the seller going for me to take those specific shots in case there are any questions about those items while we're online. And I'm hoping that I get an offer. I'm not going to be surprised if I do. I'd be happy to see if that works, and that'll be a whole nother episode, but it's exciting to see what's happening out there. So other than that, we see that getting offers and going to contract is possible. So how do you do that? Can you, if I show it and I sell it and I got someone interested, how do I get an offer on this thing, and how do I get the buyer actually in? You can. You have to go to contract first. If they think it's a good value and a good home, they'll go to contract. And then they have a few days, 5 days usually, to get into the house in person. The seller will vacate the house and we'll do the sterilization process. You're not there again as an agent. They'll go into the house. You'll be in your car and they'll leave. And there are ways to do it. So what I'm saying is that I'm not going to give you all the specifics today. I'm giving you a basic overview on what's happening, how people are doing it, and then we'll get into specifics. And anytime you need to ask me any questions, you can do that too. But yeah, people are selling houses and they're doing it that way. Is it the best way? Probably not, but it is a way. So where there's a will, there's a way. So we're doing that. So then closings, right? Is it possible to close? I closed the deal last Friday. It was fantastic. So many other Brooklyn agents have closed deals also. So it's not a rare occurrence. It does happen. There are some attorneys out there that are saying that they can't close or they don't want to close. But that's that. If you get the right players, the right parties that are willing to go the extra mile and do the extra work and heavy lifting and making sure that their clients are all protected and feel comfortable with what they're doing, that can happen. The sellers want to sell, the buyers want to buy, and the banks want to lend. The title company wants to close on it also. So there are ways to do this. So, we've done it, so it's a fact. So don't think that you can't close on anything. So those of you who have deals in contract, they can close and they should close. So there's going to be a video on that. I'm going to try to get my sellers on a Zoom call to say, hey, we just closed this home, how it went. I'm going to get the buyers on the call, see how they like the process, and try to, hey, we just closed. That's another interesting topic to talk about. But it's a lot of work up front, but it can be done, and it is being done all the time now. Let's get into the worldwide statistics. Wow. So this is interesting, and yeah, it's tough. When I look at the worldwide statistics, I get a little nervous here. So what I see here is that there's a 70% drop in transactions. That's crazy, right? And that means 70% fewer homes are going to contract. There's a 70% drop in Zillow visitors too. So when you look at a site like Zillow, the people online looking, and not as many. A lot of them are reduced. And usually what happens when there are fewer visitors, there are fewer leads, there are fewer listings, and fewer transactions. So no surprise that there are fewer transactions and fewer online visits and fewer listings, right? So it's the same thing, right? So we see in the world, it's down 70%. But the good news, as you'll hear at the end of the report, some of this has been rebounding and starting to change. And that's what we have to look forward to going forward. Now let's talk a little bit about the Brooklyn market specifically and see where we're at with the Brooklyn market. So in the Brooklyn statistics, it's a very, another interesting story that you see here that we're down similar to the rest of the world. I mean, it's no surprise. We are down 72%. And, the rest is, we got hit hard. Listen, man, Brooklyn, New York City, New York State, especially the city, we got hit hard with the virus, and we got hit hard with all these things. Our stay-at-home rules, our regulations are all tough, and the number of deaths and the number of people infected with this coronavirus is astronomical, and so much higher than every place else. So it's no surprise that this is happening, all this stuff. So if you look at the chart on the right, you'll see I'll move myself out of the way here. You'll see this is actual numbers from the MLS and statistics as to the first few months of the year on how it's going for us. You can see here that the closings are down, the contracts are down, and the listings are down. They're all dropping tremendously. So the contracts are down 72%. The 75% drop in closings, that's a lot. And 80% drop in listings. So the listing drop is huge, but that's because we're all affected here by this whole virus. It's not as detrimental in some other marketplaces. They haven't been hit by it. They don't feel the pain that we feel. So we're dealing with it personally, emotionally, and it's psychologically a really big deal here. So it's getting better. We're getting a little more comfortable. As long as we still stay safe, I'm okay with that. But I feel that the number of calls that I'm getting on my listings is going up. So I think that we're just at right around the corner from things happening and some positive changes happening in this marketplace. Oh, so let's see how that's going to work out. What is the forecast here? So I'll tell you what. This is what the leaders in the industry are saying. It's going to be it's a check mark shaped rebound. Well, this is what a check mark rebound is. It looks just like a check mark, as you can see here. The market takes a big fast dive down, bang, and then it goes up slowly over a few months. So it's already started to happen around the country, and I'll recite to you just a few of the statistics on that to help you understand it better. So the market takes a quick dive and then gradually comes back in time. It took New York a month to dive, and it's been at the bottom for about 5 weeks. We're one of the longer dives at the bottom. We're staying here a long time. There is no sign of recovery yet in New York City, but we expect when it does come back to follow the trends of the other cities in the country. It goes up about 20% a week until it finally gets back to what we used to be known as normal. So just to use an example, and this information is important, so when you talk to your sellers and you talk to your buyers, you're giving them some real interesting information. And, the check mark rebound is an interesting thing, shows you know what you're talking about. So here's what's happening. So some other markets have started to rebound early. And they're 3 to 4 weeks. Seattle took, after 3 to 4 weeks, Seattle took 2 weeks to bottom out, and then it rebounded. So they're down 50% with listings, and they're 20% per week recovery. So they were down 70%. Now they're at 50% listings. They're heading in the right direction. California, 2 to 3 weeks. It took them to rebound. The listings are still down 50%, but they're also going to get better. So the prediction is that recovery will be once we start rebounding, and I hope that that's soon. It might be happening right now. It might be happening next week. So as soon as that happens, the consumer confidence is back. It looks like an 8 to 16 week recovery cycle, and then it's back to like main business things that we've been doing. So that's it. The only thing it's going to be, though, is the economy is definitely devastated over this, and we don't know what's going to happen. Will the buyers buy? Do they still have a job? They have confidence in the marketplace? Do they think the homes are going to drop dramatically? I don't know. We don't know. We don't think so, but we have to wait and see what that's going to be like. So the interest rates are great, so that's a good sign. And if you're a believer that this is going to get back to normal soon, it's a good time to buy while there aren't so many buyers out there. And then will the price go up or down? We don't know. It just depends. So we can't tell anybody, promise anybody that we do know. It's foolish, right? But I think that the prices will take a little bit of a hit immediately. But just like the check shape here, the check mark shaped rebound, it's going to do the same thing. It's going to come back, but the selection and inventory is tight. It might even push things up more rapidly than we can imagine. So, hey, friends, thank you for staying with me during this Brooklyn Market Report. I hope that you enjoyed this episode, and if you did, please like the button below and subscribe to the channel. And stay tuned for some future episodes where I am intending on going through many different topics, such as working from home, how to create a virtual home office environment using tools like Zoom, using DigiSign, DocuSign, all those online signing tools. I'll be going in more detail about virtual tours, either hiring somebody or getting your home sellers to do it, or doing it yourself when the time allows, and then different other ways to market and promote online. So there are lots of things to talk about, and if you have something that you'd like to discuss, you can always put it in the comments below, or contact me, in any of the social media ways, and I'd love to chat with you and help you through this journey. So thank you for joining me on this journey. It's important for me to have you with me, and I look forward to seeing you again on a future episode. But more importantly, I look forward to seeing you live and in person in the near future. Stay safe, stay informed, and stay home. Talk to you later, guys. Bye.